So what's your excuse? Do you travel too much? Maybe you don't have the right skills, or you don't have enough time. Maybe you're too old, or you've done it before, or you've never done it and you don't know how. Moses didn't know God's name and was sure that the people would never listen to his crazy story. And besides, he didn't speak well. He was not eloquent. And God dismissed all his excuses. And so Moses finally resorted to flat out pleading. Please send someone else, he implores God. What's your excuse? We all have them. Our new primate, a national bishop, Shane Parker, was elected at the General Synod held just this past June. He was not one of the 4 bishops who were originally nominated. After the first 2 ballots in the election process, there's a provision that clergy or laity can request 1 or more additional nominees from the House of Bishops. And that's what happened. And Archbishop Shane's name was added to the 3rd ballot, and he was elected on the 5th ballot. Now, I don't know what his reasons were for his reluctance to accept a nomination earlier in the process, but he had been asked, as an Anglican Journal article said, he had been asked to let his name stand during the nomination process. The article goes on, and he had gone through the process of filling in a biographical profile already as part of his process of testing out the road. But he had not made the decision to be a candidate until the call for more names came from the Order of Laity. He has since been quoted as saying, "This was not an easy discernment for me." Whatever his reasons, whatever the nature of the difficulty, whatever his excuses, in the end, he said yes. In a recent journal article interview, he reflects, "When I did relinquish and accept, I felt a sense of peace, rightness in a sense that this was the right thing to be doing. And as the days and weeks have passed, a sense of understanding the call." Today is the first of 9 weeks when we hear from the prophet Jeremiah. Jeremiah is the longest book in the Bible by words, not chapters, so it's worth spending some time with it. Jeremiah lived and preached through a most significant period in ancient Israelite history. It's delineated in the first 3 verses before today's passage begins, saying that Jeremiah prophesied in the days of King Josiah and his sons, King Jehoiakim and King Zedekiah, right through the captivity and destruction of Jerusalem by the Babylonians. They were momentous days. It was a momentous time, not in a good way, and it determined the course of history. Today, we hear the beginning of Jeremiah's story with his call and commission as a prophet to the nations. Now, Jeremiah isn't particularly enthused about the prospect. He really tries to just say no. He has 2 kind of related excuses. Lord God, he responds to the word of the Lord that came to him. "Truly, I do not know how to speak, for I am only a boy." Jeremiah figures he's too young to be appointed and consecrated a prophet. He's only a boy. And besides which, like Moses, he wasn't a good speaker. Both Moses and Jeremiah, and indeed all true prophets, have reasons to object to the calling. They are reluctant. In a world that highly values confidence, even certainty as a leadership quality, Jeremiah's objections might sound strange in our ears. Organizational psychologist Adam Grant writes about thinking and rethinking and its relationship with success, and he notes that people overwhelmingly want confident leaders. Yet that very quality can actually get in the way of developing greater competence. When people mistake confidence for competence, he writes, they end up valuing style over substance. Confidence gets you the job, but it can have an inverse relationship with competence, especially when it tips into kind of overconfidence, because it inhibits learning. Why seek to learn or grow or rethink when you're overly confident that you already know? Alternatively, when confidence trails a little behind competence, not too far behind, but a little, there's no limit to how far one can go, personally or corporately. And so what we want to do is to develop grounded confidence, confidence grounded in competence, alongside the humility required to engage in lifelong learning. In the upside downness that marks the way of God, reluctance to accept a call is often a sign of its authenticity. People who strive for power and prestige, those who grasp after it, are usually at best false prophets, and at worst, they're flat out dangerous. And that said, the one called does need to find their way to yes. Our primate, Archbishop Shane, got there, to the credit of us all. And Jeremiah gets there, if not in so many words today. And nothing about Jeremiah's prophetic career is ever easy. And so here in the beginning, the Lord assures him, "Do not be afraid, for I am with you." They are words of encouragement that God has spoken so often to so many ordinary people enlisted to do God's work in the world. Many years ago at a parish council meeting, one member expressed her concern about needing leadership for the Sunday school. It was a time of change in that parish, and a transition was needed. The way forward, though, was not clear. We just kind of let the conversation percolate and didn't rush to a solution. But at the following parish council meeting, the same woman passionately pleaded that the void needed to be filled, and then finally admitted, "We really need someone, and I'm really worried it's me." It was such a wonderful moment. She heard herself speaking passionately, hoping someone would answer the call, and while the rest of us listened in. And then in real time, at a parish council meeting, no less, she came to understand that the answer was her. She was the one being called. And while she didn't feel particularly equipped, the time for equivocating quickly ended. No more excuses, and she accepted the responsibility. So what's your excuse? We all have them. And they're probably pretty good, usually something real, not just imaginary concerns or limitations. But likewise, what is that thing, the idea, the dream, that probably scares you at least a little? Can you hear God whispering, "Do not be afraid, for I am with you"? What are you going to do about it?